video is about of modern method of unit conversion. For example, kilometer to mile and mile to kilometer, vice versa. In the modern method of unit conversion, there are two sets of standard formula. Set A is standard formula and the set B is standard formula. Okay. Set A. Set A conversion factor. 1 mile is equal to 1.60934 kilometer. So our standard formula, set A standard formula, vice versa, to find kilometer is kilometer mile times 1.60934 kilometer over 1 mile. And to find mile is mile kilometer times 1 mile over 1.60934 kilometer. So exercises. 37 miles convert to kilometers. To find kilometers is kilometers mile times 1.60934 kilometer over 1 mile. So baba, kilometer. 37 mile times 1.60934 kilometer over 1 mile. So mile over mile. So cancel ang mile at maiwan ang kilometer. So baba, kilometer. 59.54558 kilometer over 1. So equals 59.54558 kilometers. So 37 miles is equal to 59.54558 kilometers. So checking 59.54558 kilometers convert to miles. And to find miles is kilometer times 1 mile over 1.60934 kilometer. So baba, mile 59.54558 kilometers times 1 mile over 1.60934 kilometer. So kilometer over kilometer, so cancel at maiwan ang mile. So baba, mile 59.54558 miles over 1.60934. So 37 miles equals 37 miles. So 59.54558 kilometers is equal to 37 miles. So, set B. Set B na naman tayo. Set B, conversion factor. 1 kilometer is equal to 0.621372737 mile. No? Then our standard set B formula. Set B standard formula, vice versa. To find kilometer is kilometer mile times 1 kilometer over 0.621372737 mile. And to find mile is mile kilometer times 0.621372737 mile over 1 kilometer. So exercises. Tingnan natin kung magtugma ba ang equation. So exercises for the set B formula. So exercises for the set B standard formula. 37 miles convert to kilometers. And to find kilometers is kilometer is mile times 1 kilometer over 0.621372737 miles. Okay, then kilometer is 37 miles times 1 kilometer over 0.621372737 mile. So mile over mile. So cancel ang mile at maiwan ang kilometer. So baba, kilometer. 37 kilometer over 0.621372737. So equals 59.54558 kilometers. So 37 miles is equal to 59.54558 kilometers. So nagtugma ang answer. So checking. Sit B formula checking. 59.54558 kilometers convert to miles. And to find miles is kilometer times 0.621372737 mile over 1 kilometer. So baba. Mile, 59.54558 kilometer times 0.621372737 miles over 1 kilometer. So kilometer over kilometer, so cancel ang kilometer at maiwan ang miles. So continue. Miles, 37 miles over 1. So equals 37 miles. So 59.54558 kilometers is equal to 37 miles. The set A formula and the set B standard formula ay nagtugma. So, how about this conversion factor? 37 miles is equal to 59.54558 kilometers. Pag sinabing conversion factor, ay simpre meron yang formula. At ito ngayon ang ating formula. Another formula, vice versa. To find kilometer is kilometer mile times 59.54558 kilometers over 37 miles. And to find miles is mile, kilometer times 37 miles over 59.54558 kilometers. So, next video, ito naman ang ating lesson. Okay. At yun lang at maraming salamat.